My name is Marley and I love nature journaling because it helps me see more wherever I am. Today, we're going to do an exercise called Inside Out from the How to Teach Nature Journaling book by Jack Laws and Emily Ligren. All you need for this activity is your sketchbook or journal or just a sheet of paper and a pencil. You'll also need something like an apple or a mushroom. I'm going to use an onion. Gather your materials and pause the video while you get all your materials together. Your challenge today, should you choose to accept it, is to use drawings and diagrams to show all the important information about the form and shape of what's going on with your apple, your onion, or your mushroom. And what is the least number of drawings that you could use to show all of the important things? What view would you need to look at? Definitely, I can't tell very much about this onion just from the outside. So by cutting it open and considering what views to use, I'm going to try to show the most important things. So that is going to be your challenge. And we are going to take 15 minutes to do this. So go ahead, pause the video, and discuss with the people around you what do you think are the most important views to show the aspects of your object. Now that you've discussed a little bit about what views you think are important, let's go ahead and do the journaling activity. So we're going to take 15 minutes and you can use a knife. If you're at school, you might need to use a plastic knife and try to think what are the ways that you want to show your object to give the most information. Pause the video and do the activity with me. Okay, we're back, and I cried a little bit while I was cutting open my onion, but I learned a lot. So let's look at our journal pages that we did and see how different people in your group drew them differently and chose different perspectives. Here is my page, and you can see that I showed the whole onion and the line that I was going to use for my first cut, and from that cut, I could see how many sections there were in the onion. And while I was doing that, I realized I wanted to learn more about these pieces in the middle. So on my next cut, you can see the line that I drew through it. I cut it down the middle and could see from the side. And that helped me learn about the pieces that were growing in the middle. So go ahead and pause the video and discuss with the other people in your group. Why did they cut it the way they did and what did they learn? All right, what did you learn from discussing with the other people in your group? Did you all use the same cuts or did you cut it in different ways? Why? What reasons did people have for cutting their fruit or object in different ways? And can you come up with any names for calling those? I think I said top and side cuts for mine. What other cuts did you have in your group and what names could you give to those? Pause the video and discuss those now. Architects and engineers don't necessarily cut open and draw onions and tangerines, but they do cut open buildings and other things such as cars that they are designing or machines to understand them better. So there's different ways to cut something to understand it. If we cut it this way to get two similar pieces, that is called a longitudinal section. And in architecture, that is called an elevation. So for example, if you wanted to see that there's 2 stories to that house, showing it from the side would be really useful. There's a little person right there. And if you wanted to show, where the doors are related to the windows, and if there's stairs, showing it from this elevation would be really useful. But if you want to show how big the bathroom is, showing it from above would be more useful. And that is called a plan in architecture. And you can make sure that there's space for the doors. The symbol for doors often looks like that. And you can see where all the rooms would be in relationship to each other. And a person in this one would probably just look like like that. But that's looking down from the top, and that one's called a plant. So how would we do that one with the tangerine? Well, I already cut this one in the elevation way, the longitudinal section, but I could do what's called a cross section, sort of the way that I cut my onion. And you can learn different things by cutting something that way, just like with the house. And you get a totally different pattern. Are there any other ways that you could cut one of these? So now that we have learned a little bit about these different views, and before we go ahead and eat what we just cut up, get together with your partners and think about how these different ways of cutting something up to think about it and see how it works would work with other natural objects. For example, what if you found a skull like this? What would be the most useful way to look at it from? And what different things would you learn? I notice that with things like this, I often always draw them from the same perspective, but what information am I missing when I do that? Can you think of different ways that you would draw things in nature to learn about different aspects of them? Now go ahead and get together with a partner and look for an object nearby. It could be a man-made object, such as a machine like this hair dryer. What would be the most useful perspectives for showing how this functions? Would you use all of the perspectives that we just talked about, or would you just use one? So go ahead and pause the video and discuss that now. If you want even more ideas for follow-up discussions and a whole bunch more activities, then look at the link below where you can get the free downloadable PDF or purchase the book, How to Teach Nature Journaling. And if you want to do more nature journaling with me, look for my YouTube channel and Facebook and Instagram down below. Thanks for journaling with me today. Bye.